Hello, and welcome to Shelley Has Opinions, the hit podcast where the Chatfield girls try and guess their shy sister Shelley's opinions on a variety of topics. My name is Holly Chatfield Flanagan, and with me is
Shelley Chatfield Allison.
And we also have
Julie Chatfield Miller.
And finally, our sister expert for today is
Kellie Chatfield Whitcomb.
Guys, it's 2021. We did it. And you know what's going to happen in 2021?
What?
All of your dreams will come true.
Hooray! Oh my goodness. I'm so happy.
Well, so if all of your dreams coming true looks like all of us getting together for a fun adventure all together, then yes, that is going to happen.
Yay!
Once everyone has a vaccine, we're going to get so tired of looking at each other right in the face.
Just so close, nose to nose.
So, Girlos, what is something that you want to do with all the other Girlos and their families in 2021?
My knee-jerk reaction to all of us being so close, all of us sleeping in the same bed together.
Wait, when was the last time we did that?
Never.
It's been a minute.
I would go with Kellie. Never.
Yeah. We've all had the combination, but never all together.
The other day, Lukey said to me, no, it wasn't the other day. It was today. You know how I know? Because it was right after we signed out of our Zoom church meeting. Like we said a prayer, I hit leave room, and then Lukey looked at me and said, American Ninja Warrior isn't real, right?
Is that out of context or like...
That's it. That's all you get. That's all I get.
Okay.
And when I told him it was real and that the people were actually doing the obstacles, his mind was blown. So I think that when we're all together, we should do some kind of obstacle course and do a Sister Ninja Warrior.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, my gosh.
I thought
That
you wanted to
sounds
have fun
fun.
with me.
Can I make your kids do it instead?
Yeah.
Okay.
They'll step in for me. Lucy will go on Jack's shoulders and be Holly.
Excellent. Can I say one more thing?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I'm saying so many. I just want to be with you. Before the call, we were talking about the postcard you sent us, Holly, that had Timpanogos Caves on it in Utah. And I said we would go there. It has cool stuff in it. And my son Theo said, candy? And so I think we should go inside that special cave and look for the candy that's in there.
Well, guess what? You'll never guess which aunt already has the plan to bring candy and put it on the ground and then point it out.
300 gumballs worth of candy.
Shelley, what about you? What do you want to do when we're all together in 2021?
Well, my knee-jerk reaction was also not the same as Julie's, I'll just say that. But my sister-in-law got us for Christmas this year like a 2-hour pass to a place here in Ogden that has like indoor surfing, indoor rock climbing, and indoor skydiving.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And indoor skydiving sounds super fun. I think we'd all enjoy it.
Do you think we would all enjoy it?
Yeah, I thought you wanted to have fun with our whole family together.
Well, okay, I think a lot of us would enjoy it.
Yes.
So other things I want to do, oh gosh, like Julie said, I just want to be together. Like I just want to play board games and I just want to hang out. I just want to like
Sleep in the same bed.
No, not sleep in the same bed.
Our husbands can come too. Fine.
Yeah, and that's when you guys will get to experience firsthand the snuggle might of my husband.
He'll be like the one who we all roll over and only he stays in the bed because we all fall out.
Okay, Shelley, those were great. Kellie, what about you?
My knee-jerk reaction is, I don't remember when our first sister movie was, but it was before, so I was 8, I think, is when we made Coolmeister, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I would want to make another movie because we've made 4 So I would want to do another sister movie.
Okay.
Because then we could get all the kids involved. Mm-hmm. I don't think the husbands would, except for mine and Corbin, would want to be involved. But
Julie will write it, and Shelley and Kellie, you guys will fall in love, just like in all of our sister movies.
Yep. That's not true. Kellie and Carly were in love once.
Yeah. Well, Shelley can be the girl. I can be the boy.
The rule is 2 sisters must fall in love.
And the rule is I must be a bad guy.
And do something crazy with your makeup.
And then have like a weirdo like sidekick. Like Bear was one of your sidekicks and Jet was like your puppy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just how I like to do. That's my method acting. Okay, so Kelly, it's great. My thing that I want to do is I want us all to go to a taping of The Masked Singer.
Ooh,
interesting.
Because I want to just have so much fun, and I want to see Nicole Scherzinger in person.
It'd be so fabulous.
Yeah, so that's my thing. I didn't have a gut reaction, so sorry everyone, I guess.
Your loss.
Oh gosh. Well, you want to know what isn't my loss?
What?
The fact that I know the topic and some people on this call don't yet.
Dang it.
Well, but I'm willing to share. In 2021, that's my goal, is to share more. And so here's some snacks. I brought some cinnamon bears for everyone.
Yay. Oh, great. It's a book club.
Oh, Kelly, no. I thought you wanted to have fun with me today. This topic was submitted to us by Corbin Miller, producer emeritus Corbin, Julie's husband Corbin, I believe. Right, Julie?
Yes. Highly qualified, highly handsome.
Shelley, would you like to know today's topic?
I would.
Today's topic is spray tans.
Oh my gosh.
Kelly, just because you have a golden, beautiful tan year round doesn't mean that not everyone can. Okay?
Okay.
Does Corbin have a strong opinion about this?
Yes, but I will not reveal what it is yet.
Oh.
I'm intrigued.
Julie's going to be doing the pro reasons why you should like spray tans. I'm going to be doing the anti reasons why you shouldn't. And Kelly, as our sister expert and melanin goddess of our family anyway, is going to be telling us what she thinks you'll choose, Shelley. Are we ready?
Ready.
Okay, Julie, start with Corbin's opinion.
Okay. Doesn't really work well for me, though, because he does not like spray tans. But I'm pro, so I'm just going to pretend like he does like spray tans. Solidarity. It's really fun to pretend that it's not winter, because I don't like winter. And a great way for me to pretend that it's not winter is to have a gorgeous tan. Like I've just been out in I was going to say the Alps. That's not the place to get a tan. What's a good place to get a tan? Fiji.
Yes.
Even if it's winter in Fiji, you can still have a gorgeous tan.
So you're saying having a tan reminds you of when you have your glorious tan all summer long.
You know what? The past couple of years, I've had enough of a tan where I've had a tan line. And that's saying something.
Ooh la la.
Yeah. So yeah. But you know what, Shelley? That leads right into my next point, is that sometimes it's fun to pretend that I'm not a freckled redhead. And that I can tan. You know what? So, when I don't tan, in general, I burn, and then that turns into a freckle. So I've been known to joke in the past that maybe I should just get lots of just full coverage freckles so that it looks like I have a tan. But you know what? I have a feeling that wouldn't be good for my skin.
Probably not.
Spray tans save you from skin cancer, but that's not funny to talk about, so let's not do it.
Spray tans also make you highly qualified for toddlers and tiaras.
Ooh, now Shelley, just hold on. Hold your horses on that one.
Okay. Just that's when I think spray tan, I think toddlers.
Neat. But
Oh,
Shelley,
my
it's so
goodness.
fun to have a tan when you just can't. Did you guys know that mom bought me a bottle of spray tan once when I was a teenager?
Oh, really? Was it like a lotion or a spray?
I believe it was a spray because we sprayed a spot on my abdomen, and that bad boy never sees the sun, so it's very white. And it just we did not do a good job. I'll say that. It was way too dark, and when it was fading, it looked kind of like a weird, it didn't look right. I'll just say that. So I've had a little experience with spray tan, and it's fun to pretend like I can tan. I'm really into the theater of it.
Does this point count, though, for people who can tan? Like, is it fun for us to be able to pretend we can tan on our off season?
That's right, Shelley. I forgot you were part of the Chatfield contingent of tanners association in America.
But you know what? It's also good for evening out those tan lines. Shelley, I know you are notoriously have like sandal tan lines.
Yep.
Just get some spray tan on that, and it'll clear that right up. So that when you go out at the beach and you take off your sandals, people aren't staring at your sandal tan lines like they usually do.
But what if I'm proud of my sandal tan line?
I was going to say, I always stare at them out of envy, honestly.
You can tan. Oh, I can't.
It's just proof for people who are obviously white and then they're tan, but people don't recognize the tan until they see the sandal tan. And
You're
it's like, no, this is my tan.
This is tan for me.
Yeah. You don't know how pale I can actually get. Let me show you.
But what if you want to go out in your I was gonna say topless. No, don't do that. In your strapless bridesmaid gown, and you've got your swimsuit tan lines. You have to get those unsightly things out of here. Get your spray tan.
Don't.
I don't know how much danger there is of me going out either topless or in my strapless beautiful dress.
Well, Shelley, if you ever found that yourself in that situation, you would know where to go. The spray tan store, where it's just every aisle is bottles of fake tanner.
Or it's just all the tanning beds, or like wait, okay, I do have a question. I have a technical question. Spray tan in like a place, if you go to a place to get spray tan.
Like a salon.
Yes. Do you stand up or lay down?
You stand up.
You stand.
Yeah.
So tanning beds are just for getting an actual tan with UV rays, ouch, to your skin.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, when you're getting a spray tan, you're standing up, and if it's in your house, you have like a little 3-wall like tarp thing around you.
In your house?
And then you get sprayed.
Yeah, you can do that. You can have a little like the plastic bubble.
Yeah, and then you spray them with like, what is it called when you could paint with air and blowing?
Aerosol. Airbrushing.
Airbrushing.
Like an airbrush thing. And then they do front and back.
So, okay. So my next and final question is, people pay money to get UV rays on their skin?
Yeah.
Okay. If I did that, let's say that I did that, I would be paying to get a sunburn.
Yes.
Correct.
There aren't people who do that, right?
Yeah. I doubt people who burn are often going to tanning beds. But I think, obviously if you're getting a spray tan, that does not come with UV rays included. That's just the color.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. Thank you.
Clarifications made. Spray tans are great. They make you look great. Going back to the time-tested, honored tradition of toddlers and tiaras. Spray tans are a competition standard. And so, Shelley, if you are getting ready to go to a competition, your bodybuilding competition that I know you have been working so hard for, spray tan is a must. And it's got to be dark, and it's got to be done well, or else you get points taken off. That's what I read on a thing an hour ago. Okay? So it's real.
I think also like cheerleaders tend to do it, you know,
or like dancers or ice skaters.
I remember
Belly
when I was
dancers.
taking a ballroom dancing class during like a competition day, I went to go watch my teacher in a thing, and she was like 6 shades darker than normal from a spray tan.
It's because you know what? Those bright lights, they wash you out. And you don't want to look washed out.
Yeah,
for
I
your
think if
competition.
any of us, well, some of us got washed out right now, we just look like ghosts.
That's why nobody detected when I was in high school that I had the wrong shade of foundation. My Hispanic friend and I accidentally got our kits switched. And for many years, I had the wrong foundation for somebody who has much darker skin than me. But I needed it on that stage, baby.
Oh, that's funny.
That's very funny.
And Shelley, you too can have the glorious glow that you deserve so that you don't ever look washed out. Thanks to spray tan. But you know what else is a cool thing about it? You can highlight your toned muscles so it makes it look like you are even stronger than you already are. Would you like to have abs? You could spray some on. Would you like to have biceps? Spray them on, baby. I feel like that would be a very funny and cool thing to do if you were going out to the beach. Like, I'm going to spray on my muscles to impress all the, I don't know, lifeguards? Is that a thing?
Yeah, definitely. So it's like contouring your face with makeup. It could just body, all the body.
Exactly. Is contouring still in?
Who knows?
I haven't worn makeup for 9 months. That's not true. I'm wearing it right now. But I didn't do any contouring. So, Shelley, you can spray on your own muscles, but for my last point, I want to talk about something even cooler that you can do. You can spray on any kind of design you want. You can lay on a stencil and spray tan over it. And that is a cool way of having a semi-permanent tattoo.
Do you have one in mind that it would be really cool for you?
Really cool for me? No, but I have a one in mind.
Okay.
That's not cool. It's just a giant swirl right in the middle of my body and just going out toward my whole outside edges of my body, even across my face. Wouldn't that be neat?
That might look challenging.
And then if somebody looked at me, they'd get hypnotized.
Holly loves hypnotizing people, so that sounds like a good one for her.
Yeah, I do. And I also like when people do what I want them to do.
Holly, you should get a swirl hypnotized, right? Maybe just on your face. Unless you plan on going out topless.
I could do both. I'll do it everywhere. But I will say that if I got a spray tan, I would look like... what would I look like? I would look like not myself. That's the best way to put that. So,
you know what? The people who like do spray tans, like you go to the salon, they're good. They know how to make you look like a sun-kissed, good version of yourself. So you don't have to look like a super tan bodybuilder if you don't want to. But if you do want to, you can.
Great.
I disagree with this thing you're doing.
You mean you can do it if you want and not do it if you don't want?
What I want to do when we all get together is get spray tans.
I will do it for the laughs and the jokes, but don't expect me to... I'm not even like feeling like, oh, I don't want to put my body in front of other people so they can spray tan it. No, it's I'm not feeling modest in that way. It's just the after part is what I'm concerned about. Will my husband know it's me? That kind of thing.
Julie, in order to do this, can we also have do our own bikini competition?
No.
That's objectifying, Kelly. We need to do our... I know. We'll go out and get these spray tans before we do our obstacle course.
Fashion show at lunch.
So, Julie, you did it. You finished?
Yes, I did it. Phew.
Oh my goodness. Just over the finish line. I'm so proud of you. But now I'm going to be doing the anti-reasons why Shelley should be anti-spray tans. And Shelley, I have to tell you that this week I'm going a little wild because all I could think about was one specific movie quote.
Okay.
And so I'm leaving that for last, and I am saying all of my other points through movie quotes, and then we'll expand upon them. You dig?
Mm-hmm. Is that a movie quote? I don't recognize it.
It's from Shaft.
Ah.
Okay, so Shelley, the first reason why you should be anti-spray tans is everything the light touches is our kingdom.
Really, Lion King?
So spray tans falsely tell people where the light touches on your body. As Julie mentioned, there are parts of our body that don't often see the sun, and for everyone that's different, and that's totally okay. But if someone sees Julie's tummy and says, "Oh, that's a gorgeous tan, she must have worked really hard for it," it's a lie, because she didn't.
It takes away from all the people who put in the effort.
Yeah. Everything the light touches is your kingdom, and sometimes that kingdom is just from your elbows to your wrists. And that's it.
So that would be the sun's kingdom. Then.
No, your body kingdom.
Okay.
And everywhere that the light doesn't touch is nobody else's. It's a no man's land. So that's what I wanted to say first. It's a lie. Spray tans are lies. So thanks Mufasa for that very beautiful quote. Okay, next. I don't get it. Did my hair get flat? Did I stumble into some bad lighting? What's wrong with me? That's from Cher Horowitz from the movie
Legally Blonde.
Oh, no.
No, dang it, Clueless. Ugh, come on.
Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
Shelley.
I believe that spray tanning is a way for people to try to zhuzh themselves up into someone they're not. Cher Horowitz talked about how something is wrong with her because she wasn't able to get the guy, and it must have been the thing that was wrong was she was in bad lighting. Well, no. Just because you look a certain way doesn't mean something's wrong with you. And I feel like spray tans are a tacit admission that the way that you are is not right, and you must change it immediately. And the way to do that is the fast way to do that is through a spray tan. And now I know that spray tanning doesn't mean laying in a bed.
But I mean, isn't this true then for also like everything? Like makeup and doing your hair?
Well, there's two ways to look at this. One is that you look a certain way for you. You feel good when you look a certain way by doing your hair or putting on makeup or whatever. So there's that. What I really wanted to go about talking about this point was Cher Horowitz said, "What's wrong with me?" Nothing's wrong with you, Cher. You are you. And that is good. And sometimes people just don't gel with each other. And that's okay. Even if I had a spray tan, I would still have enemies. Because I like to have enemies. It makes me feel good to have enemies.
So you're saying we shouldn't judge people based on the color of their skin?
Weirdly, that is what I'm saying. I can't think of a good quote for that. But
yeah, nobody quotable ever said anything like that.
Mm-hmm. But you should be anti-spray tan, Shelley, because it is ostensibly a tacit admission that you are not enough. And if you are fully self-confident and you feel like you want to be who you want to be, and that means a person with 2 spray tans,
Oh, dear.
then you shouldn't have to apologize for that. But I would almost guarantee that most people who get spray tans, that is not the reason they get them.
It's because they have to show off their muscles.
Yes. Most people who get spray tans do that because they're in bodybuilding contests, and that's just the way it is.
I mean, just looking at the percentages, you know?
Yeah, and I run the numbers constantly. It's like a cool statistics game I play in my head. Shelley, you should be anti-spray tans This isn't a movie quote, but this is a quote that I think Shelley will recognize from media. Girl, look how orange you look. Shelley, do you know what that's from?
I would assume it's from RuPaul's Drag Race.
It is from our friend Alyssa Edwards, the drag queen Alyssa Edwards. She was calling out someone else's makeup because essentially she was doing her makeup with what looks like Dorito powder. I would say, Shelley, you should be anti-spray tans because a lot of people who get them don't just change like 1 or 2 shades. They really go for it. And sometimes it's hard to know when to stop. I had many friends in high school who did tanning. And at the time, I wasn't thinking, I mean, it just was whatever it was. But when I look back at pictures, I'm like, oh my gosh, you were so orange. Why were you doing this to yourself?
I feel like that was a very early 2000s thing, though.
Yeah. But I think that there is a tipping point that is frequently passed for tanning color. Like I mentioned previously, if I did spray tanning, I wouldn't look like myself. And I would argue that is the case even if I just went 1 or 2 shades darker. I don't think you walk into a tanning salon and say, I want to go 30 shades darker. Well, maybe 30. They would say no, thank you. But like Julie said, at-home ones, you kind of are the master of your own destiny. And if you are an experienced tanner, self-tanner person, then you could go really wrong.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And are you saying people like they get addicted to it, so they just keep getting it, or like that they want to get the most bang for their buck? So they're like, if I don't want to go from like ivory to fair, I want to go from like ivory to darker. I don't know.
Well, I would say from my limited knowledge about tanning places and spray tan places, there is a monetary benefit of getting like a pass, like not just a one-time deal, but like you get, cheaper ones if you pay for 10 and at the same time.
Right.
And I think people do that. I just, like you said, I think people get addicted. But another thing about girl, look how orange you look, is there's streaks that can happen. I'm going to be talking about things that I don't know about, so hold on. There's like a way that you have to treat your body for an amount of time after you get a spray tan.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't do that thing, or and it's before, you have to exfoliate before. And there's a lot of things that you have to do. And if you don't do them correctly, your spray tan will be for naught. I'm spreading my arms out way outstretched right now because I'm just trying to let the information in.
Yeah, I've seen, I saw something the other day that was a meme or whatever of a girl who was I shouldn't have watched that sad movie or something after getting my spray tan, and she has lines on her face.
Oh no.
Yeah. So that's a thing that unless you do like Julie and you do a spot check first, you kind of have to live with it for a while, kind of like a bad haircut, Hair grows, spray tans fade, but it takes time. Yikes. Girl, look how orange you look. Okay. I have 2 more points. Next. Passion fruit spray.
Yes, correct.
That's from Elf. I wanted to talk about spray. So that in that movie, famously, Buddy the Elf eats passion fruit spray, body spray, like perfume. And that's not what it's for, and that's why he doesn't like it. But I want to talk about spraying things.
Okay.
Shelley, have you ever sprayed a thing and it got in your eyes?
Yes.
Have you ever sprayed a thing and it got in your nose?
Sure. Uh-huh.
Have you ever sprayed something and it got in your mouth?
Yes.
I've never gotten a spray tan, but let me tell you what. It would be hard for me not to do something with my face that I'm not supposed to do, probably.
Like squinch it up to try and keep your mouth and eyes closed or something.
Yes. And that's, I'm not even upset about getting a tan mouth. That's fine. That's whatever. I just don't want that aerosol feeling up in my crevices on my face. I don't like that. And now that I'm talking, I don't even know if people get spray tans on their faces. Man, I should have done a little more research. But the feeling of spray, the aerosol feeling of being sprayed, especially at the fire hose level that I imagine happens at a spray tan.
Uh-huh.
I don't like it. It makes me go, like Elf, Buddy the Elf. I wanted you to, because we're talking specifically about spray tans, I did not want to forget to talk about spray. Okay, Shelley?
Okay, so by the way, airbrush, that's what I couldn't remember earlier, that word.
I thought Kellie said it.
Yeah.
So as they're spraying you with this fire hose of color, so you just don't like the idea of breathing it in, just the idea of it, or like, are you worried about your lungs or whatever?
No, I just don't, the feeling of being very aerosoled. I'm worried about that feeling coming into my crevices, wherever they may be, not just on my face, you know?
Got it. So you could never be in the musical Hairspray.
Oh, no.
They do a lot of spraying.
And I couldn't ever do skydiving because air sprays so fast on your own face.
Aerosolized air.
And like just anything that it makes me feel like, is my skin going to rip off right this second?
What if that's how you could get a spray tan done? Is you're like in one of those tubes where you're like doing skydiving?
Indoor skydiving,
and they're just like releasing also just mists of color at you.
Cool. I mean, yeah, except no, I'd hate it. If there was a Willy Wonka of spray tan, that sounds like a room that would be happening in his factory.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
I have one more point, Shelley, why you should be anti-spray tan, and it's the quote that started it all. My skin is not milky. It's alabaster, thank you. And that's from my favorite movie from Justin to Kelly. Eddie the nerd is going to meet his internet girlfriend, and someone suggests that he gets a tan before he meets her, because he says, got milk? And then he says, my skin's not milky, it's alabaster, thank you. But then he gives into peer pressure and goes to get a tan on the beach, and he forgot to turn over, and now he's very sunburnt only on one side of his body.
Poor
and then
thing.
it hurts so bad, and then he gets bullied by a big muscle man, and then the muscle man hugs him with a big sunburn on his body.
It's true. It's all true.
That's why From Justin to Kelly is one of the greats. It's so relatable.
So, Shelley, I don't need a spray tan, and I've been saying it this whole time. I don't need a spray tan because my skin is not milky. It's alabaster, thank you. And I'm proud of that. And if anybody else doesn't like it, well, too bad, so sad. I don't care what you think. As RuPaul says, if they ain't paying your bills, don't pay him no mind. And nobody here is paying my bills except my husband. And he's also alabaster. So there. In your face, everybody. Thank you. Okay, so my impassioned speech now leads us to Kelly, whose skin is not alabaster. It's beautiful GBD, golden brown and delicious. Kelly, based on your years of experience with Shelley and your many tanning sessions together, what do you think Shelley's going to choose about spray tan?
Our many tanning sessions together, that makes it...
Well, that's just being outside.
I was about to say, like, did you just give it away that Shelley is pro? No, but I think Shelley's going to go con because she, yes, likes makeup, but she doesn't... She feels like natural is better. If she didn't have to wear makeup, she would be very happy. And so I feel like spray tans are a lot of maintenance. And like Holly said, they could get streaky, and you could get a really bad, what are they called? Spray tanners? Anestheticians? Like, I don't even know what category they're in.
Yeah, I think not anestheticians, because then that means they're anesthetizing you for surgery. But aestheticians.
Aestheticians.
Yeah.
But so I don't know what category they're in. So if anybody knows anybody who's a spray tanner, let us know. But if they do a bad job, then you're screwed for weeks at a time is how long they typically last. Like, there's an episode of Friends where Ross gets a really bad spray tan, and he is dark just on one side. And it is horrible. And again, it lasts forever, and it can be super embarrassing. And typically when people get spray tans, or the rub-on tans, that they don't do their faces because they want to do makeup on their face, like certain makeup on their face the spray tan doesn't allow the makeup to like stick as well or something. And so, yeah, so like their face tends to be wider than literally their neck and below. And so it looks weird. So I think she's going to go con.
I think you're right. I think Shelley agrees with you, and the end of the podcast. Welcome to the end.
Goodbye, everyone.
Just kidding. Now is the time we've all been waiting for, the opinion of the MVP of this podcast, the most Von Zell Solomon podcaster, Shelley. Did you vote for Von Zell on American Idol?
I don't know who that is.
She was great. Shelley, I'm so mad at you now. We were vibing on American Idol so hard when we were talking about From Justin to Kellie, and now you've betrayed me.
I'm sorry.
Shelley, what do you think about spray tans?
Well, so many thoughts. I think growing up when we did, as teens in the early 2000s, that there was a big trend of like doing a lot of self-tanner, either the spray or like the lotion. A lot of celebrities back then were very orangey, and a lot of teens were also. So it's definitely something that's been on my radar for a while. And then I watched a lot of Toddlers and Tiaras. So I became intimate with the process. It's fun to pretend it isn't winter. The first time I ever experienced people saying we are going to get tan was in college here in Utah. And it was winter, and they're like, we can't live like this, because I think they were from, sunny places. And so they would go often to tan. And I can't remember if it was like tanning beds or like spray tans, but they were like, we can't deal with this wintry grayness and no sun. So I know a lot of people do feel that way. Sometimes it's fun to pretend to be able to tan. As I get older and a little more sensitive about my skin, especially now that I've had some things done to my skin that were unpleasant, I am a little bit more sensitive to the sun. So I do have the ability, but I don't know if I have the desire anymore to do it naturally very much. So like that is like a good option. It's good for evening out tan lines. I think the only time I'm embarrassed about a tan line is when my super farmer's tan I get a lot of years.
Yes. That's why I roll up my sleeves all the time.
It's so bad. And it gets like, even if I wear like a slightly different sleeve, it's like, oh my gosh, look at that. That's crazy.
Shell, that's why I stopped wearing watches, because I kept getting watch tans and they wouldn't leave for like a year.
Well, that's you, Kel.
Well, I mean, you're kind of the same way. And so like in my wedding photos, I had stopped wearing a watch for like 3 months and laid outside to tan so it would go away. Nope.
That's what spray tan's for, Kel. Bam! In your face.
It's a competition standard. That's true. Those lights, they just wash you right out. it highlights your toned muscles. I don't know. Yeah, I support that it highlights, but I'm not sure they could paint on muscles for you and have it be believable.
Well, I mean, if you're from far away, there is like highlighting and shading that can happen. That happens all the time.
I'm not sure anyone would believe, like, if I've got a 6-pack sprayed on, that was real. I might as well at that point just draw them on with like a Sharpie. Like, I think that's how believable it would look.
And you should do that.
You can spray on any design, like a fake tattoo or something. I have seen people do that. I don't know what I think about that. That's for another day.
Like you said, Shelley, that was very popular in the mid-aughts. So
yeah, I don't know. I don't like to commit to anything like that, so I wouldn't want to have that on my skin and then the next day be like, dang it, I wish I hadn't gone for the Nike swoosh, you know?
Well, then I just don't know if you can get a real tattoo, Shelley.
Well, don't worry, that will never happen.
That's the only thing stopping you, right, Shelley?
Yes.
Not your debilitating fear of needles.
Yeah. And as for the points against, everything the light touches is our kingdom. I don't know if I would say the places where the sun doesn't touch is a no man's land. Because that makes it sound like it's also not my land. But I would say my body is probably mine all over. Don't judge people on their skin color. I guess that's true. Like, it doesn't just count for different races. It also can count for different tones of skin. You know, because I know, again, during the early aughts, having a tan was like the look. Like, being pale was so not trendy. I think now there's a lot more acceptance for people's natural skin tones. But it's still, you know, I think there's still a lot of... It always makes me think of Pride and Prejudice, where the mean girls shade Elizabeth because they're like, oh, look at you, you're so dark because you've been traveling. Gross. And so I just, yeah, so that's been around a while. Blah, 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 blah. Girl, you look so orange. Yeah, the orange is not good. Going too dark, getting too involved in the process or just doing too much, not ideal. Streaks are bad. Aerosol in the mouth and stuff, not good. I feel like that was like my whole childhood. Having bangs meant a lot of aerosol things, like, or spray things in my mouth and eyes.
Theater, I'm sure,
and theater, but mostly bangs. There was a lot of hairspray that went into keeping that look just so. And for having milky or alabaster skin and being proud of it. I'm starting to get there. I have always been a little embarrassed by how white I can get. And right now, I'm probably the whitest I've been in a very, very long time because I didn't go out much this summer. The darkest part of me is a huge bruise I have on my forearm.
From the bakery. It's their initiation.
And it's actually not even that dark anymore. It's mostly just like green.
It's gross. I saw it yesterday. It's gross looking.
But yeah, so like I do think natural is good, Kel, and I do think, but if you feel more confident with color, like you go, girl, especially if you do it as a spray tan and not like a UV bed, because that's bad for your skin.
And those are two different things. Did you guys know that?
I did. And I think having someone who knows what they're doing is probably a good idea, not just like your mom or getting the lotion and doing it at home or whatever. Because that can turn out bad. Yeah, not for me. I could not stand in front of somebody in like underpants and have them spray me down with a hose of color. I would not like the upkeep, like Kelly said. It's just so much work. I don't care. I don't care if I look tan or not most of the time. Like every once in a while, I will wear something that I'm like, oh, this would look better more tan. Or I buy the wrong color makeup and I'm like, oh man, if I were more tan, this would be just right. But yeah, most of the time I'm good. As I'm saying this, I'm like looking up and down my arms like they're gonna change if I just keep looking. I don't know what's happening. So yeah, I am against spray tans.
Wow. Nice.
That is the opinion of the true privileged right there, Shelley. Those who can get a tan for themselves.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, even though I'm super white right now, like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I can accept it.
Shelley, that was awesome. And Corbin Miller, thank you for submitting this topic. And Julie, just because you love spray tans and you want us all to get them doesn't mean that we will, but it means we should do it when we're all together in 2021.
It would be weird to see you guys tan.
Yes,
It doesn't have to be a full body thing. Maybe we can each do a little, spray on the abdominal area.
No, just so that the Shelley Gang knows, Shelley, Kellie, and Carly all get tan, even though Carly is a redhead like Julie and I. And Julie and I, I've gotten so many sunburns that probably were like 3rd-degree burns that I just never went to the hospital about. So,
And I married someone who is very white, and I foresee my child being very white as well.
It's all about that sunscreen, baby.
I remember a picture of you, Holly, from high school that somebody took during like a car wash we were doing for a fundraiser. And I was like, "Oh, Holly, your undershirt is showing in this picture." And you were like, "I'm not wearing one. This white that you see, that's me."
I'm white and I'm proud. I'm alabaster, not milky. Hooray! Okay, Shelley, thanks for sharing your opinion. And now we are moving on to our segment, What's Your Name?
What's your name? What's your name? What's your name?
In the segment, What's Your Name? I bring a name generator to my sisters that I found on the internet, and we play it. And this week's is the podcast name generator to celebrate the release of the book by the boys from My Brother, and Me. It's coming out January 26th, I believe, and it's called Everybody Has a Podcast Except You. And it's basically a podcast how-to book, like what's good and what's bad from their experience, because they've been podcasting for 10 years. Whew. So, pretty great. So this one, we need to know the first letter of your first name, the first letter of your last name, and the month you were born. And because we have, right now, a repeat of months born, I did, for Shelley, just the month, this month, January. Okay, so the first letter of my first name, H, the first letter of my last name, F. I was born in March. That means... Oh, so also I need to know how long is each episode of your podcast based on the name of your podcast. Okay, everyone?
Okay. Sounds good.
So the name of my podcast is The Minimalist Friends, a podcast about home audio equipment.
Oh my gosh, that sounds boring.
So the Minimalist Friends podcast about home audio equipment is just sound tests of all the different microphones that are available on the market today. And because we are minimalists, we say the same 3 sentences with the different microphones. We say, "This is the Shure 324." And then we say the 3 sentences. Then we say, "Thanks for listening to the Minimalist Friends. Goodbye." So they're very short.
Very short.
Wow.
And you know what? That would probably be very helpful for people.
Could be.
Like, oh, this is what this microphone sounds like? Magical.
Yeah, but I don't know if you'd have as many followers.
Would this be a daily podcast?
Okay, so next, Shelley, would you like to know yours?
I would.
Okay, your podcast name is The Library Briefing, a podcast about infrastructure and logistics.
Oh, gosh. Oh, those are not my strengths. Infrastructure and, oh gosh, logistics. And if it's a library briefing, is this the structure and et cetera of just libraries? Because that actually could be kind of cool, like famous libraries from around the world or whatever. I'm gonna say that we do episode bi-weekly, and they're 45 minutes long.
Why?
We don't want to go through them too fast. Because, you know, there's not that many awesome libraries in the world. But also, like, there's a lot of logistics to talk about. So not quite an hour. Sounds like it's just about right, or else people might start falling asleep.
Yeah, because is this recorded in a library, so you have to be kind of quiet?
Yeah, every episode you have to talk like this.
Oh my gosh, it'd be ASMR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Shelley, you should do this podcast. I'd listen.
No, because you'd learn a dang thing, and you don't like that.
Well, then only do pretend libraries. Make up a bunch of libraries.
The library from the movie The Page Master.
I'd watch it.
Ooh, cool.
Okay. Julie, are you ready for yours?
Oh, yes.
Your podcast name is The Gumshoe Zone, a podcast about quick service restaurants.
Oh, hey, that kind of works.
That's deceiving at first.
Gumshoe, well, we could be like restaurant investigators. I don't know if you know this, but Corbin and I almost had a podcast where we reviewed restaurants.
I remember that.
That would have been amazing.
Yeah, and then we quickly realized we don't know anything about food and don't really care to go to a variety of restaurants. So our podcast would be, you know, like twice a week, 5 minutes max.
Is there like a rating system that happens?
Well, okay. Gumshoe, investigate. We would just say guilty or not guilty.
Oh, guilty of what? Being good or bad?
Whatever our clients want to know. So,
like spicy or not, or
I thought it was going to be, this is honestly what I thought for yours, Julia, would be that you found all the quick service restaurants in your city that have gumball machines, and then you take your kids there, and then they get gumballs, and that's the Gumshoe Zone.
oh my gosh, guys. Do you remember when we lived in Lincolnia and there was a chicken place by our house that had a gumball machine in the entrance?
I've been there.
Yeah, we went back to Lincolnia a couple weeks ago, and the thing the kids wanted to do was go to that restaurant and get gumballs. Not see any of our friends there, not go visit any old places that we love, just to get gumballs at a chicken restaurant.
Did you do it?
No!
Anyway, so Julie, I think you're right. In and out. Guilty, not guilty. Okay, Kelly, are you ready for yours? Yours is my favorite one.
Yay!
Your podcast name is The Insufferable Roundup, a podcast about legendary crustaceans.
Oh my gosh.
Legendary crustaceans.
The Insufferable Roundup. So it would probably be a half hour, and then it would be a show series, kind of like a radio show, with the like fake thunder and door knocking and stuff. And it would just be a journey of the crustaceans.
Oh my gosh, would you make up like a pantheon of crustacean legends and gods, or just normal crustaceans?
Can I make a pitch, Kelly?
All of the above, yeah.
When I wrote this down for you, I could only think of one insufferable but legendary crustacean, and that is from Moana. Tamatoa. Because I feel he's insufferable and legendary. And I think if he had a talk show, I would love it and listen to it. So that's my pitch.
Agreed.
That would be pretty good.
Yeah, but Kelly, I agree. A fiction, like a fiction one would be fun.
Because it could be, there's a theater game, story, die. So that's what happens is you point at someone and they start the story, and then you point at somebody else and they keep going with whatever they were saying, but they can say whatever they want. And then if somebody else messes up, then the group gets together and tells them how to act out dying. And the act out dying wouldn't happen on the podcast, but
why not?
It would be. I guess you could, but that wouldn't. Only if it's in the story. That way, the podcast could keep going and going and going and going. It doesn't have to be like just a one plot thing or a series, but it could just be super random and almost every week because it would come out once a week, but it all ties together a little bit. So
I love this. Kellie, I want this podcast so bad.
I'll get cracking.
Oh, I love it. Thanks to my brother and me, the McElroy Brothers. Go get their book so you can learn about podcasts. And this has been our segment, What's Your Name?
What's your name? What's your name? What's your name?
Shelley Gang, thank you so much for joining us for the first podcast of ours in 2021. And we are glad to still be here. We are halfway through our 4th year of podcasting. Well, we're almost like in the summer we'll have podcasting 4 years. That's wild, right?
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
But here's something else wild is that we have a website. You'll never believe it. It is ShelleyHasOpinions.com. That's ShellEY hasopinions.com. You can go there and you can listen to all of our old episodes. You can find pictures of us and biographies of us that were handwritten with love and then typed up by yours truly. And I did that without hardly any color on my skin. I'm just the whitest. You can also find a lot of talented people who make things lovingly with their hands and fingers typed out at podicongo.com. That is the network that we are on of family-friendly podcasts, and they're for all ages. There are things that are geared more towards younger listeners or just like conversational ones like ours. I wouldn't say that kids care about spray tans, but there are people who do, and they listen to this podcast, dang it. And I'm proud of us. And I'm proud of podicongo.com. Go there. But finally, Shelley Gang, we just want you to come back next week. There we'll be talking about a lot of hard-hitting topics, and I won't say one movie quote about them, even though I'll know a whole bunch of them. That's a Girlo guarantee. And with that, thank you, and I love you, and goodbye.
Goodbye.
Gosh dang it, Shelley, where are you?